Hey there lovelies and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title of today's video, we're going to be reacting to Dimash with The Story of One Sky. This one has been the most requested video that you guys have wanted to see from me in terms of Dimash, and I have been waiting to watch this one because I wanted to wait until I had a lot more time to really take everything in, because I know a lot of people have told me this is a really special video. So I'm super excited to get around to listening to this one today. But before we do get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, then welcome and thank you for joining. Make sure to click on that subscribe button down below to stay up to date with what I post on this channel. And while you're at it, why not leave a little like on this video as well? It really does help me to see what you're enjoying watching so I can keep on making more videos like this. But all that being said, I am just very excited to get into this one and see what we're going to be getting from this video. So let's go. I've heard so many amazing things about this, so I honestly am just so excited to see what we're going to be getting from this one. We're underwater? Already I feel like this is going to be so incredibly powerful. That sense of like the heartbeat almost going on in the back end as well. Oh my god. Wow. Just instantly, I just want to pause for a second because I feel like already we've had so much of this, story be told. The fact that we had, this boy underwater and these two were able to, really be the ones there to save him. It's such like a profound way of showcasing it, but I feel like in that moment there, it was just almost showing the importance of humanity, and being there for people and really, taking care of people. And I think just that moment there of almost like bringing him back to life, like without that other boy, he wouldn't have been able to regain that sense of life. And I think just that all of a sudden is just almost eye-opening. Like when he just woke up again, then it was almost like, in a sense, it's almost showing like and opening your eyes to the fact of how important humanity and being there for people is. I feel like this one's going to be really, really powerful. I do. I think it's going to be such an amazing, amazing video. Already the cinematography of it is feeling unbelievably amazing. Just that sense of like childhood, naivety. Beautiful setting.
Can't believe what's happening at all.
Oh.
Eyeballs crazy, we want to fall.
I already feel like I'm gonna cry. This. How does Dimash do this to me every time? I genuinely already feel like I'm gonna cry. I think already that like instant swell in the music and the instrumental, that we had leading into that. The beauty of the location, the serenity and the scenery of everything is so incredibly beautiful. And then him just talking about Piper's crazy, we're bound to fall. For some reason in my head, thinking of Piper, instantly the first thing I thought of was like the Pied Piper, that story of, everybody following in tune to this person's music. And I think for me, already just from what we've seen in the beginning and just hearing, almost I feel like a sense of where I feel like this story or this song is necessarily going to go. It's almost like, in a way, him saying we're bound to fall if we keep on following the lead and following the rhythm of somebody else's tune. If we don't start living for ourselves and for each other and being there for one another, it's like ultimately we're all going to fall because we're constantly running in tune to somebody else's melody. And I think that thought as well, swelling in my head at the same time as, Dimash's beautiful vocals and the instrumental and the beauty and the scenery and just the imagery, everything just coming to fruition really did just like strike such a deep chord with me. And I think that's why I'm getting emotional already.
The reason we're causing all that pain to the secret one that gave us life. Billions of hearts, billions of cells and souls and dreams.
Even in his voice, you can hear, it almost feels like a little cry in a sense that you can hear at the end of certain words, just that emotion coming through with Dimash's voice. And I think that's what touches your heart even more, isn't it? Him just saying the sacred womb that gave us life, this life that we have, this world that we have, this sense of universe that was created for us in that beauty, in that realm. We take it for granted a lot of the time. It's sacred, it's beautiful, it's serene, it's something that should be appreciated, but it's almost like sometimes we do take that for granted. And him just saying, like, we have all this pain, we cause each other pain. For what reasoning? Like, we have so much beauty and so much love and light around us that is there for the taking. But instead of choosing that, a lot of times we choose to, really choose pain and hurt and things that negatively impact the world around us and people around us. When there's so many amazing things that we could do with our lives, with our time. And it really does just make you sit back and think to yourself of the way in which the world is. And I feel like this song in particular is definitely something that, especially right now, is such a prominent song and theme for how the world can sometimes feel. And it's just, I feel like this song is literally just a call out in saying, what is humanity? What is the world coming to? How are we going to move forward in making sure that we save this creation that was made for us? And I think that just really, like, it's such a powerful, powerful message that just calls out to your heart, doesn't it?
And dreams, billions of lives shouldn't ever turn to senseless horror, so disenchant, unfollowed. They should fall.
As a ruler, my task is to keep order and protect my country. But I don't deprive you of your freedom. The world is open for me, and I want to give it to you.
Wow. The switch, the drasticness of that switch, from going like and having that naivety in your childhood, that moment of you just being together with your friends, having fun, enjoying, and not thinking too much about the world, being in that beautiful nature around, they had the beach and all of the beauty that is, the natural side of the world. And then transferring over so drastically from that beautiful sense of tranquility and peacefulness of childhood to then, as you get older, this sense of law and order and, you know, all of this negativity and violence, and just seeing the difference in that, not only in going from childhood to adulthood and realizing the harshness of the world and the realities of life, but also seeing all of that beauty and just sense of nature, and then that sense of destruction. It just really is like, it's just sad, isn't it? Just the truth of where we are in the world and the truth of reality. That is what the world has come to. And it just begs the question of like, why aren't we fighting to preserve life? Why aren't we fighting to preserve the world, the beauty? You know, he's saying last chance is here. It literally feels like that is almost the case, because we keep on taking for granted all of these things around us. What are we going to do one day when all of that's gone? Because we're the ones who've destroyed it, you know? His voice as well, the power and the beauty that his voice holds. It's on the edge of the grave.
Our future is impossible to say. So when all the crazy neighbors falling, we decide to stop the training. We decide to follow their light. We are making
Lonely and heart is the strongest. You must be strong to accept freedom and bring it.
Oh, that is
United, we will enter every city, every house. We will lead everyone who is ready to start a new life. Anyone who resists will not find a place next to us.
It's just everything. Everything. It's just, this one's really, really hitting hard. I think it's just, like I was saying, all of those feelings, you know, that Dimash is able to really evoke with his music. Like, just hearing him say, we are choosing life. Like, that's what we should be choosing. We should be choosing to be there for each other, to make sure that we preserve humanity, preserve that sense of what it means to be human, not fighting all of these wars, not, you know, destroying what we have around us. We should be working to rebuild not only the things that we have broken down, but also humankind, like people, relationships. We should be harnessing on trying to maintain and progress in that, rather than trying to bring each other down and bring down the world around us. We should be fighting for life. We should be choosing life. This song, this video, this absolute beautiful piece of, I don't even know how to describe it, but just cinematography. Dimash really has created something so unbelievably beautiful with this, and something so true and necessary, I feel like, especially for the time we're in. It's just absolutely gorgeous, but so incredibly heartbreaking.
Not find a place next to
His
us.
voice as well. All those like vocal runs. Oh,
War is the way to unite people.
Learn to share again. Learn to share again their love, not share. To leave again. We have passed the
oh,
moment.
my heart's breaking. Again, it's just seeing like innocent people's lives be turned into uproar and be absolutely, you know, devastated by the effects of these things that don't even really need to be happening if we all just tried a little bit harder to be a bit more understanding and to come up with solutions, rather than revert and result in war and, all of these detrimental outcomes. Like, there's so many possibilities of how good life could be if we just chose the good in life rather than the bad. The saddest thing about that moment, though, was hearing the leader in this situation say that a war is what unites us. We had that sense at the beginning of order, like we're all ordered to be as one, as a unit. And he's choosing to utilize that, utilize having all of these people together to create mass destruction and war and violence and hurt and pain. When just think of all of the good that could come if you took all of those people and you really fought for the better of good. You really tried to, like Dimash said, show more love and kindness and tried to bring up that good in the world. Like, imagine how much better life could be if you used your time and the resources that you were harnessing for bad, if you utilize them for good. It just really stops you in your tracks, and it makes you just see even more clearly all of the sad and harsh truths of what life is. And it just genuinely, it hurts to think about, and it hurts to watch, because as much as it's heartbreaking, it's just so true. And I think that's what hurts the most, is that that's just the truth of what the world is. It's just so sad seeing all of these innocent people be uprooted and just absolutely destroyed because of, somebody wanting power, somebody wanting authority, dictatorship, whatever it may be. Like, the reasoning behind why in this scenario all of this war is happening. It just is painful to think that in order to feel like you've gained something, you feel like it's okay to absolutely just destroy so many innocent people's lives because of something you want to gain. And it doesn't seem to matter, anybody else's feelings, anybody else's lives. It doesn't seem to matter what happens to anybody else as long as you get what you want. And I think that's just, like, again, what we've come to as a society is people just think that it's okay to do whatever they want and, hurt whoever they want to and break down whatever they have to in order to get what ultimately they feel like they deserve. And it's like, that's just not what humankind should be. It's not what the world should be. It's those ideologies and thoughts that are what are tearing apart the world as we once knew it. It just hurts.
So
Oh my. This has absolutely destroyed me. It's just so. Oh my gosh, I can't even speak. Again, it is such a. It's a difficult thing to explain. Just the way that Dimash is really depicting everything so perfectly, of like how wrongly wired this world seems to be. You know, the fact that we as a society think that it's okay and we don't speak up and we don't say that this is wrong when it comes to things like war and, mass destruction and almost following in line of orders that are put in place for us. It's like, why do we think that that's okay? Why don't we try and create some sort of change? Because if we don't, what life is going to be left? What is going to be left of the world? It literally is just heading for mass destruction. And that is like a really sad thought, but it's told so incredibly, like, unbelievably well through this video, but it just doesn't make it any less, like, hard hitting and true. It's just so incredibly, like, sad. Honestly, I think this video, on everybody should see this video. Like, every single person in this world should see this video because it stands as such a poignant message for where I feel like we are in the world right now. And I feel like everybody should see this and really have a moment to have their eyes opened and just think for a second of how important things like war and destruction and chaos and feeling like, we can destroy and bring down innocent people who don't deserve any pain. We should really be thinking about why we think that this is okay, why it's just been almost like pushed to the side in a part of our minds as this not being wrong. Why do we choose to fight? Why do we choose war? Why do we choose to continue on this way? Because it's not living, it's not life, it's not what humankind should be. It's not what this world was intended for. Like, this world is literally being destroyed bit by bit, and we're just standing by and watching and doing nothing about it. His voice literally sounds like a cry for help. That's absolutely soul destroying. The parallels in that, like in one part, the beauty of, you know, life being brought into this world, and on the other side, such a young and innocent life being taken for no good reason. I think the gravity of that in this moment is just so profound. Just hearing that scream and that cry. It's just devastating. I honestly just feel like my heart is just literally broken into a million pieces because it's just so unbelievably soul destroying. That's the only way I can describe it. It literally is, because it's just seen that this is what life is. That this is the truth. And nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to want to change anything. I genuinely, like, I've been really moved by a lot of things before. And I've been, like, emotionally absolutely, like, taken over by quite a few things. And in terms of reactions, there's a few videos where I felt so, like, broken from certain things that I've seen, but this, it's just earth-shatteringly just heartbreaking. And I'm really struggling. His voice. Dimash just has this incredible way of really just taking over everything and really just like hitting you hard with just that feeling, that emotion. And that moment, just seeing him fight back, fight back against that opposition, fight to try and make a greater change in the world. And ultimately, because of that, he ended up being the one falling, losing his life because he just wanted to fight for the better of good. And it feels like that's almost such a reality in this life of whenever you try and fight back, whenever you try and make a change, it's like ultimately it feels like it's all in vain. Because if you're trying to do it on your own, you're trying to make a change just as a singular person, you're always going to be overthrown by, the groups of people around you, how vast society is. If it's just one person fighting against a whole nation of people, how do you win the fight to change, to make good in life? It just is so unbelievably real, isn't it? But just seeing him, lose his life and then a new life is reborn into this world. And it should be such a beautiful thing, but it's almost like that child is born into a world that's only going to end in chaos, destruction. Can't help but just feel sad at that. Let's just read this because I feel like it's such an important thing. Dialogue, understanding, and the widespread promotion of a culture of tolerance, acceptance of others, and of living together peacefully would contribute significantly to reducing many economical, social, political, and environmental problems that weigh so heavily on a large part of humanity. It's so true. Like just opening up even a discussion, opening up and being able to actually talk through things and being able to voice opinions and not have to be scared of doing that, and wanting to create a greater change. Understanding one another, being there for one another, supporting people, no matter where we're all from in the world, no matter, what our differences may be. We're all human. That's the one thing that unites us together, and that's one thing that I think sometimes we tend to forget is that even though we do all have differences, we are all unique in our own way. Ultimately, we all come back to that one sense of we are all human, we do all feel, and that is what should be bringing us together. not tearing us apart. Why shouldn't we all want to live in peace? Why shouldn't we choose to live in peace? Why shouldn't we choose to understand one another and get along and be able to create a world of beauty rather than a world of chaos and just emptiness, you know? Truly, this was an absolutely unbelievable masterpiece, quite honestly. Wow. Everything about this was so incredibly important and I feel like integral into where we are this day and age as a society. I think that really bringing to the forefront of all of our minds and to make us think about, how do we want to live our lives? How do we want to see our future? Do we want to keep on continuing the path that we're leading on? Because ultimately, that's only going to end in us all being governed to the point of not being able to speak our own opinions and our own minds, have to follow the leader into situations that we don't want to follow into, and see our world around us and the people that we know absolutely destroyed and brought down to nothing. And then what will be of the world after that? I think this video is something that really does just picture so perfectly the reality of what the future holds if we don't make that change. And I think that moment at the end where Dimash was in the water and just screaming like we choose life, like just screaming and crying and somehow still being under that water and drowning. It's like you try so hard to speak your truth, you try so hard to want to be able to create that change, but it's like nobody is listening, nobody hears you because you're constantly just almost ignored, and it feels like you're just drowning in this sense of harshness and the truth of reality. And I think that moment just really was like such a powerful moment. But this video truly, like I said, it should be something that I think everybody should have to watch. Everybody should be watching. It should be shared with as many people as possible because I think that it really does just create such a reality, even though obviously we know and we are conscious of what goes on in the world. I think just seeing something like this where the truth just hits you so incredibly hard and you just see those parallels, I think that was what really hit as well, those parallels of life and death, of, innocence just being taken away. That is what I think really does just hit so hard, and it just shows like if we were all just a little bit more human, if we all just showed and took care and interest in people and in the world, it would be such a greater place and life would be something so much more beautiful than what it is. Honestly, I am so grateful for everybody who recommended this video to me. I feel like this is something that I am going to continue to share with other people as well. I think, like I said, I really want this to be something that is able to be shared as widely as possible. So I will definitely be sharing this with the people that I know and with people around me because I think it's a message that really should be continued to spread throughout the world. But I feel very grateful to Dimash for creating this. I think it's such an important piece of artistry. And like I said, I'm so glad that I waited. I know that you guys have been patiently waiting for this reaction, but I'm so glad that I waited until I had a day where I had more time to really take everything in because I don't want to take videos like this in vain. I want to make sure that I'm taking the accountability and the appreciation and gratitude and respect for amazing pieces of work like this. So I'm glad that I waited until now to watch this, and I just hope that we all continue to spread that kindness, try to understand one another, and continue to really be the change in the world that we want to see. Be that good in the world for other people. That is what I really hope that we can all just take away from this video, is just be the greater good that you want to see in the world. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching along this video with me. If you want to continue on seeing me react to more Dimash, then feel free to click the subscribe button down below. I am really enjoying and appreciating hearing more from Dimash, so I am really excited to see more from him moving forward. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I hope that you are all doing well, and I am sending so much love. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.